In our first lesson, we talked about motivation being tied to purpose and fulfillment. You've begun to understand your own top 4 driving forces now, and we've investigated all 12 so you can understand not only what drives you personally, but also what motivates and energizes those around you. Now we want to talk about how to use this information to help you and your team to both function and thrive at work. We especially want to help you understand yourself well so you can describe to your leaders and coworkers both what energizes you and how that your contribution to the team and organization can be increased. Understanding and applying information from our driving forces can be helpful in a couple of ways. First, understanding our driving forces can help you see how you may be getting in your own way. I'll share a couple of stories from my own experience in just a minute. Second, understanding your driving forces can be like discovering your own personal brand of rocket fuel. When you're able to tap into what motivates you, you can become truly unstoppable. One of my own top driving forces is resourceful. I love to be efficient and never want to waste even 1 minute. You know, there's a stereotypical image of husbands who get frustrated waiting on their wives to fix their hair or do their makeup. But my wife jokes that I've never waited for her for 1 minute ever in our lives. And it's not because she doesn't take time to fix her hair. Instead, it's because I never sit still. If she's getting ready to go, I find some little project to do because I simply can't stand to waste time. Although saving time is a useful goal, I found my relentless pursuit of efficiency could backfire. If we were out of bread, I didn't want to go to the store for just one thing because that was inefficient. I would try to layer in 2 or 3 more errands, but ended up frustrated because I wasn't fully prepared for those. I would also skip steps in a process, thinking I could get to the conclusion faster, only to discover I needed to come back and do things over. My drive for efficiency is almost obsessive, but once I recognized how strongly I was motivated, I could take a step back and say, sometimes it's more efficient to just go get the bread. Have you begun to recognize tendencies like this in yourself? The beauty of assessment tools is that they can shine a light on things we take for granted about ourselves and help us learn when to harness them and when to back off. When you know what's going on inside you, your driving forces can help you find success and satisfaction at work. For example, my resourceful driver is actually a very useful motivator. I'm great at efficiency. I can find time-saving ways to do things, and I don't let myself or team get bogged down. If being resourceful is a motivator for you, share this information with your boss or your peers. Tell them that you're motivated by creating efficiencies and see if you can brainstorm ways to help your team work more quickly and efficiently. Conversely, if you're stuck in a situation that causes you to feel like you're wasting time and moving inefficiently, you may become discouraged and demotivated. Sometimes these situations are unavoidable. We all have circumstances and situations that force us to move outside our comfort zone at times. But when we have a long-term mismatch between our driving forces and our roles, we end up feeling worn out and demotivated at work. If this is currently your situation, try to brainstorm ways to tap into your driving forces in your role. Talk things over with your manager, and together with them, try to find tasks or roles that allow you to best serve your organization. Understanding driving forces can also help you understand your team and coworkers. My wife and I have been married a long time and have a great relationship, partly because we use driving forces to help us understand our differences. I have a very high commanding driver, and I love autonomy, freedom, and independence. Laura has a very high collaborative score, so she loves teamwork and collaboration. Early in our marriage, I was content to make big decisions without touching base with her. Well, you can imagine that didn't go very well. But on the flip side, she would come to me to touch base on issues I thought she was well equipped to handle. One day I said to her, "Honey, you're the smartest, most capable woman I know. You don't need to ask me what to do here." She quickly clarified for me that needing to ask and wanting to ask were 2 completely different things. She knew what she thought was best and had an excellent plan, but because she so highly values collaboration, she wanted to circle back with me to make sure we're on the same page. Understanding the difference between our driving forces gave me a new understanding of how different we were in our desire for collaboration or independence. In our work with individuals and organizations, we've seen again and again that understanding these driving forces, our own and those around us, can help us make our best contribution to the team and work more smoothly with others. We tend to feel strongly about the things that deeply motivate us, and we can make great contributions or have great conflict with them. For example, when you have teammates on opposite sides of the knowledge continuum, some may be ready to start working on a project while others are still gathering information. Those who are more instinctive may think that intellectual info gatherers are wasting time. Those still gathering information think the high instinctives are jumping in unprepared. A similar conflict can take place in regard to the utility continuum. Those who are selfless are willing to invest countless hours into a project and may consider those who are resourceful as not really caring about completing it. On the other hand, those high resourcefuls may see the selfless drivers as spending more time, money, and manpower on a project than it's worth. As you've done your reflection questions for this course, we've asked you to think about the ways that your driving forces show up for both you professionally and personally. This week, we'll continue to dig into that. Our primary goal is for you to gain a new level of awareness and control over your motivation and energy. With that awareness, you can choose to focus your energy in ways that resonate with your natural drivers and feel more motivated and fulfilled in life and work.